You know that person who goes quiet in a group? Not because they have nothing to say, but because they're thinking too much before they speak. They pause, they observe, they watch the room like it's a story unfolding. Most people assume they're shy, or unsure, or distant, but psychology tells us something surprising. Some of the quietest people are running the loudest inner worlds. Tonight, we're talking about the psychology of deep thinkers, the people who live life twice, once outside and once inside. I made this for you after long research and reflection. If you recognize yourself here, like the video and subscribe. It helps this kind of thoughtful work continue. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from and what is your age? I read them. Deep thinkers are usually quiet, observant, and introspective. They listen more than they speak, not as a strategy, as a default setting. While others talk to express, they listen to understand. Conversations for them are not just words, they are signals, patterns, meanings. You'll notice this in small moments. At dinner, they're the ones who notice the tone change when someone says, "I'm fine." At work, they sense tension before conflict appears. In relationships, they catch emotional shifts before they're spoken. They live in their inner world as much as the outer one, sometimes more. When they pause before answering, it's not insecurity, it's layered thinking. Their mind checks meaning, impact, accuracy, and emotion all at once. Life for them runs in high resolution. Deep thinking is not just intelligence, it is sensitivity. Carl Jung once suggested that some minds are naturally turned inward towards symbols, meanings, and emotional undercurrents. Deep thinkers notice layers others overlook. A passing comment, a small gesture, a strange silence. A friend cancels a plan. Most people move on. A deep thinker wonders, are they tired, hurt, distant, overwhelmed, or quietly drifting away? This depth is a gift and a burden because they don't just see moments, they feel them. A song can stay with them for years. A sentence can echo. A memory can feel alive. Do you relate to that? If yes, write "deep mind" in the comments. I want to see how many of you are like this. Deep thinkers see metaphors in ordinary things. A broken clock becomes a symbol of timing. An empty chair becomes a story. Rain becomes a mood, not weather. They read between the lines, not just words, but tone, energy, pauses. They observe instead of react. While others respond fast, they absorb first. Neuroscience gives us a clue here. There's a brain network called the default mode network, active when the mind turns inward. It connects memory, imagination, and self-reflection. Studies show that highly introspective people often have stronger activity in this network. Their brain is built for inner simulation and meaning-making. That's why they replay conversations, rebuild scenes, reinterpret moments. Not because they're broken, but because they're processing. People often ask, why are deep thinkers so silent? Because most conversations move faster than their processing speed. By the time they've formed the best answer, the topic is changed. Silence is misunderstood for disinterest, but inside, analysis is still happening. They are not waiting for attention, they are waiting for precision. They would rather understand than speak. Small talk drains them, not because they dislike people, but because they crave depth. They want conversations about fears, purpose, regret, meaning, dreams. They want to know what keeps you awake at night, not just what you ate for lunch. Depth matters more than frequency. One real conversation is better than 20 shallow ones. But we should make a careful distinction here. Overthinking and deep thinking are not the same. Overthinking is anxiety-based. It circles fear. What if this goes wrong? Deep thinking is awareness-based. It explores meaning. What does this mean? One is panic, one is curiosity. Existential questions, why am I here? What is a good life? What is truth? Belong to deep thinking. Chronic worst-case scenarios belong to anxious rumination. Deep thinkers also practice something called meta-cognition, thinking about their own thinking. They watch their thoughts like an observer. This creates high self-awareness and sometimes harsh self-judgment. They see their flaws clearly, which can create doubt. They analyze their motives, desires, reactions. Nothing inside them goes unquestioned. Have you ever caught yourself analyzing your own reaction while it's happening? That's metacognition at work. Emotionally, they are intense but controlled. On the surface, calm. Underneath, oceans. Memories for them are not files, they're ecosystems. Smells, sounds, emotions, details, all stored together. Nostalgia hits hard. Old places feel sacred. Because of this intensity, solitude is not loneliness, it is maintenance. Solitude is where they reset, where noise clears, where tangled thoughts untie themselves. Many deep thinkers feel guilty for needing space, but psychologically it's restorative, like sleep for the mind. Creativity and pattern recognition often live here too. Deep thinkers connect unrelated ideas. They see hidden structures. This is why many are drawn to writing, music, philosophy, art. They see invisible patterns. But depth has a dark side. Overanalysis can create false meanings. A delayed reply becomes rejection. A neutral tone becomes anger. Thought becomes a trap. Rumination becomes mental noise. This is where depth turns heavy. Tell me honestly, have you ever created a painful story in your head that later turned out to be wrong? Emotionally, they are complex and empathetic. They can feel mixed emotions at once, love and disappointment, hope and grief. They understand people as stories, not labels. They forgive easily, but they don't forget lessons. Modern society is not built for them. Speed is rewarded, certainty is praised, loudness wins attention. Depth is often misunderstood as weakness or confusion. So they hide. They simplify themselves to fit rooms that don't fit them. And this creates a strange loneliness, being surrounded yet unseen. In love and trust, they move slowly, but when they commit, they go deep. Love is intentional, not casual. They expect honesty, emotional truth. Betrayal cuts deeper because their investment was deeper. Many deep thinkers struggle with presence. Their mind travels, past, future, possibility. They must learn a hard lesson. Peace comes not from answers, but from presence. Piaco Frankl wrote that meaning, not pleasure, sustains the human spirit. Deep thinkers understand this instinctively. They search for meaning like others search for comfort. Over time, depth matures into wisdom, not just intelligence, but compassion with insight. They see human flaws clearly, yet still choose kindness. And here's the twist people don't expect. Many deep thinkers are quietly funny. They see life's absurdity. Their humor is dry, sharp, and humane. They don't laugh to escape chaos. They laugh because they understand it. But the deep mind must be grounded. Thought needs expression through art, writing, conversation, prayer, movement. Otherwise, it spirals. The purpose of thinking is to enrich life, not escape it. If you are a deep thinker, hear this clearly. You are not slow. You are not strange. You are not broken. You were built to notice what others rush past. You were built to ask better questions. You were built to feel fully. The world needs people who slow the moment down enough to understand it. Depth is not weakness. Silence is not emptiness. Reflection is not delay. It is care. You are like a lighthouse mind, quiet on the outside, powerful in the dark, not chasing every ship, but guiding those who are lost. If this spoke to you, subscribe and stay with this journey. More psychology stories are coming. And before you go, tell me in the comments, do you feel understood or misunderstood most of your life? And what country are you watching from? I read them.